Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, my name is Shannon. I'm a full-time online reseller. I sell on Poshmark and eBay. Primarily those are my favorites, but I'm also on Etsy, Depop, and Mercari. Pretty much everywhere that you can sell, you can find me. And my username is Shanny Sells. Everything will always be linked in the description below if you'd like to check out my shops. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so last week was a really good sales week. The entire month of January has been great for me and has literally been my best sales month to date. Stay tuned to the very end of this video because I'm gonna give you the actual numbers, which you know on my channel if you watched before, I don't talk about gross numbers because they don't matter. So I'm giving you the real net take-home income for my entire month of January plus obviously last week's sales and that net income. So stay tuned to the end. But last week was a great week. I had a total of 19 sales on Poshmark and 13 sales on eBay, and I also had one Mercari sale, one Etsy sale, and one Depop sale. So yeah, really great week. I made a total net take-home profit of $552.08. This is after fees and after my cost of goods. It's already taken out. At the end, I also want to show you guys, I'm going to be figuring out my gross profit for the month of January, and then I'm going to show you the net profit to really kind of show you the difference. And I've talked about this on my channel before of how misleading I find a lot of videos on YouTube talking about profit. So I really want to give you a good idea of how extreme the difference can be between the gross and the net profit. So it's just really important who you pay attention to and who you look up to, and finding people that are genuine and talk about like the real business side of things. 27th, I sold this Avon vintage amber bottle. This was listed a really long time. I think I've had it since the summer, and I finally sold it, I think, on an offer that they accepted, and after fees I made $325. On the 27th, I sold this Lord & Taylor plaid grandpa sweater. This was really cute, and I actually wore this a few times before it sold. And I was trying to sell it around the holidays, and it didn't sell, so I'm glad that it finally sold in the new year. After fees, I made $12 on that sweater. I sold this pair of Prana corduroy pants, which I actually featured in a recent thrift haul. They sold very quickly. I made $32 after fees. I was surprised that these sold so quickly because they were 4 tall inseam, and I wasn't sure if that size would be something that people would be searching for, but I'm not sure if that contributed to why they sold so quickly. I'm still waiting for the other pair of Prana pants that I bought that day to sell as well, and they're the same size, so we'll see how that goes. On the 28th, I sold this really cool Stetson vintage fedora hat, and it also had a little feather on it. I loved this hat. I had it listed high because I looked up comps, and comps were around like 60, 50, anywhere from like 50 to 60 on this. The person offered me originally a pretty low offer, and I normally don't counter. Hardly if ever do I counter an offer anymore on Poshmark, because most of the time in my experience I find that the person disappears and doesn't come back. In this case, I did counter because the offer I felt was too low. So after fees, I ended up making $14.40 on that hat, which I thought was fair. On the 29th, I sold these Bernie Mev shoes. They were like multicolored, cute little strappy shoes. I made $13.40 on those shoes. On the 29th, I sold this Duck Dynasty baseball hat, and this was listed for a little while, but it finally sold, and I made $12. On the 30th, I sold this pair of H&M Chelsea boots. These were actually from my own personal collection. I just wasn't wearing them, so I still really liked them. I just didn't wear them enough to justify keeping them. And last week, I think I only went thrifting once, which is the thrift haul you saw. The rest of the week, I spent relisting and finding things in my own closet to list. So I spent an entire day just going through my closet and listing stuff, and I kind of listed these on a whim, and they sold really quickly. I made $19.80 on those boots. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but definitely don't look down upon selling brands like H&M and Victoria's Secret Pink, things like that. In my personal experience, those sell really great and sometimes very quickly, and sometimes much more quickly than the sought after brands like Anthropologie and everything. So I know certain people have more of an aesthetic in their closet, like they'd rather have their closet stocked with Anthropologie and these big expensive brands, but I don't think you should shy away from trying out different things. And you'll see that with the next sale too. On the 30th, I sold this Forever 21 90s shirt. It said made in the 90s. I made $3.25 on that shirt. On the 31st, I sold these Nike Air Raid black sneakers. These were listed for a really long time. I wouldn't pick these up again. Yeah, I think they sold because I sent out a pretty low offer, but I ended up making $24 on those shoes. On the 31st, I sold this Nanette Lepore New with Tags dress. I made $7.05 on this dress. I used to pick up Nanette Lepore. I don't anymore. She does not sell for me, and if she does, it takes forever. I remember picking up this dress. This was towards the beginning of when I was full-time, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I remember being so excited. It was Salvation Army half-off day, and I remember picking this up and thinking it was like gold because it was new with tags, and the tag said like $272, I believe was the retail price. And I just thought this thing was gonna like sell so quickly, and of course I listed it way too high. It finally sold, guys, and I made $7.05 on that dress. So you live and you learn. On the 31st, I sold this Chico's leopard jacket. This was a really nice jacket and in like excellent condition. It had like a suede feel to it, but it was actually 100% polyester. And I have been experimenting more with selling Chico's, and it's doing well for me on eBay too. So I made $16 on that jacket. On the 31st, I sold this Alfred Dunner vintage. It's like a velvety feel and look to it, a reddish pink sweater, and I made $7.25 on that sale. On the 31st as well, I sold this Julia Rothman Urban Outfitters mug that had San Francisco on it, and I made $2.25 on that mug. On the 31st, I sold this Wilfred by Aritzia sleeveless sweater. It was like a mustard yellow. Made $9.25 on that sweater. This is my first time experimenting, picking up and selling Wilfred by Aritzia. It didn't sell quickly at all. I don't know if it's because of the style, because it was like a sleeveless sweater. I feel like that's a hard style that a lot of people might not want. So that might be why, but I did make $9.25 on that sweater. Moving on to February 1st, I sold this Nike. It was like a city tank top. It was really cool. It has this cool design. You'll see it here. And it had like all the boroughs of New York City listed on it. I thought it was really cool. I made $4.05 on that tank top. On the 1st, I sold this American Eagle belt. So I actually picked up 2 of this exact same belt on the same day at the same thrift store. One was red, one was black, and both have sold. I think it's because the style is very in. It's like a Western style belt. So another like example of a mall brand that is selling very well. So I made $12 on that belt, and I just shipped that out today. On the 1st, I sold this vintage Guess leather jacket. This was a men's jacket. This was actually Frankie's jacket, so I invested nothing in it. It was just sitting in our house, and I made $36.60 on that sale. Can I just say also, I'm always really happy when something sells for over $30. I feel like that's a pretty comfortable sale price for me, and if I could have more of these kind of sales, I would be a happy girl. But that was an awesome sale. On the 1st, I sold this vintage Disney Winnie the Pooh mug. I made $5.05 on this sale. It was actually really funny because the girl sent me an offer, and at the time, I was driving home really late after babysitting, so I wasn't on my phone because I was driving. And I came home and I checked the comment and it said, "Please accept my offer. I broke this mug and it was my mom's and she's gonna kill me." So of course I accepted the offer, and I thought that was really funny. But I sent that out today, so I hope her mom likes the mug. On the 2nd of February, I sold these LL Bean hiking boots. And I made $32 on these boots. I love selling LL Bean. It's like Probably one of my favorite brands to pick up and sell. So that was all my Poshmark sales. So moving on to eBay, like I said, we had 13 sales. It was a really good week. So moving on to January 27th, I sold these vintage Skechers boots that I featured in a recent thrift haul. Skechers is one of my favorite brands to resell, but only certain styles when they're the vintage, like chunky boots or vintage chunky lace-up shoes, if you've ever seen those. Both of those sell extremely well and fast for me. I made $37.73 on those boots. On the 27th, I sold this awesome vintage 1983 Vermont Wobbly Barn t-shirt, and this was given to me by my mom's boyfriend, who gives me things to resell. He doesn't get like any, he lets me sell them and keep all the profit, which is amazing. I made $25.62 on that shirt, and it was a really cool shirt. On the 28th, I sold this Manhattan Hat Company tweed hat, and I made $4.25 on that hat. I actually bought that for myself, and then I tried it on. I didn't really like the way it looked on me, so I sold it. On the 29th, I sold this Free People short sleeve button-up top. It was really cute. I was tempted to keep this. It had like kind of baggy pockets in the front. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was really cute. The style, the design, I loved it. I made $23.66 on that Free People shirt. On the 29th, I sold a pair of Levi's bootcut jeans for $10.18. On the 30th, I sold, this was a really exciting sale. I found this dress a while ago, and the brand is Annalore, New York City. From my research, I found out it was a very expensive boutique in New York City that closed down. So I found this dress. I thought it was beautiful. It was a peacock printed dress, and it was off the shoulder, had these beautiful black, like, kind of shiny buttons going up the front. It was very cute. And I thought this thing was going to sell so quickly because the store had closed down and I wasn't able to find a similar style online. I listed this thing way too high. So I think I literally relisted this last week, and it sold a couple days later. So relisting works, especially when you take all new photos. And also the pictures I had taken previously was before I had my ring light, so they were like terrible quality, really dark. But I ended up making $47.20 on that dress. On the 30th, I sold this North Face base layer shirt. I featured this in my last thrift haul. It sold, I think, literally the same day or the next day of listing, and it was really beautiful. I made $21.53. On the 31st, I sold this vintage zebra jacket. It was really cool. It was like a very lightweight windbreaker. It was black, and then it had this zebra on it, and I made $7.68. On the 31st, I sold another item from my thrift haul, was the Lilia Guilty vintage western shirt. This was an amazing shirt. I thought it was so cool. It had the fringe details. It had the shoulder pads. It was amazing. I just shipped it out today, and I hope they love it. It was a great sale. I made $24.71. First, I sold this B. Makowski copper bag. I made $9.70. On the 1st, I sold this Fox Racing baseball hat. It was like a buffalo plaid design. I made $8.02 on that hat. And on the 2nd, I sold these Stuart Weitzman patent leather pumps. I've had these forever. I kept sending out offers. No one was biting. Got a lot of interest on both Posh and eBay, but they took forever to sell. But I did sell them and made $38.13. So I had one Mercari sale, which was the J. Crew Schoolboy Blazer. I featured in my last thrift haul. It sold very quickly. I think I listed it that night and then woke up to the sale the next morning, which I was really happy to wake up to. It sold, and I made $31.01. I had one sale on Depop that was a good sale. I ended up making $31.50, and it was a vintage Grandpa Cosby sweater. I had relisted, and it actually sold within minutes of listing on Depop, so that was super exciting. I also had one Etsy sale, which was a bit of a story. So I sold a vintage grandma sweater. So grandma and grandpa sweaters, definitely good keywords to put in your titles. But upon shipping it, it was going to Saudi Arabia, and after the fees and the shipping cost, I actually only made $10.11 on that sale. And the reason I say that is because I was super excited. I think the sale cost came out to like over $50, but then shipping was so much. And then, yeah, so in addition to that, I had previous advertising fees and things like that I had owed Etsy. So basically, like, the sale went towards paying off those fees. So after all of that, I was only left with $10.11 from that Etsy sale. But that's okay, it was a sale. Those were all of my sales for the week. Like I said, I had a net profit of $552.08. And now I'm going to take you guys over to my computer to show you basically the month breakdown of my sales. So I'm just going to show you guys how different your gross profit can really be from your net. So this is for the month of January. This is for all of the sites combined: Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Etsy, and Depop. This is before any fees, any cost of goods, anything. What did I actually make for the month? When you take all of that away, I still did really well this month. This was my best month to date. However, this is, I think, a little over $1,500 less than my gross. And guys, this isn't even before my eBay bill, which normally averages about $175, somewhere in that range. So I just minus it out when I pay it. That's just how I do it. And I don't pay it until February, since your January bill will be paid in February. That's how I do it. So you can see I still had this was my best month to date if you want to see the other numbers before that. However, like, I'm just showing you this because you have to be careful what you see online again. And I keep track of everything. Business costs, if I spend money on packing tape, it goes in here. So this number is after I've negated fees, business costs. I have a section for refunds. I had $72 in refunds. So yeah, I'm showing you guys this just so you can be aware of, if you're new to this and you're, doing research on YouTube, looking up to people that talk about their profits, just know that there's sometimes more to the story than they present, and that not everything is always shared. And obviously, they can share what they feel comfortable. That's totally fine. But yeah, just be careful what you see online, and know that there are a lot of variables in place. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!